Hello, and welcome to the texting team. This team texts voters across the state to see whether or not they plan to vote for Beto. Our team is crucial to the campaign's voter contact strategy because Texas is really big, and reaching everyone across the state to tell them about Beto is a huge challenge. Texting allows us to identify supporters no matter where in Texas they live. And once we identify fellow Beto supporters, we will reach out to invite them to super important voter contact events, as well as to get out the vote during early voting and on election day. We remind people it's time to vote, and we help them figure out when and where they'll do it. So the work we do here is super important, and that's why today I'm going to walk you through what to expect on your first shift. Since you're watching this video, I trust you've already made it through the following steps, but if you're feeling a little lost, that's okay. The initial email you got when you signed up on this page right here will give you all the initial information you need to get started. If you can't find that email, you are always welcome to sign up again here to regenerate the information. Now, once you finish this video, you are going to read through the texting team dashboard linked in the texting team guide where you found this video. Be sure to read it in its entirety. At the bottom of the dashboard, you'll find links to sign up for Slack and Relay, the two tools mentioned in the texting team guide. These two platforms are required, so it's crucial you familiarize yourself with both. Now, the texting team dashboard looks like this, and you'll see first time texter. After this video, you're going to click this link and scroll on down to register for Slack and Relay. So you can see Relay here and Slack here. Now, I'm going to show you how to use those two platforms once you've signed up for them. So the first platform I'm going to talk about is Slack, which, as you've read, is where important team communication takes place. Slack may seem daunting at first, but once you get the hang of it, it's a really fun place where we can come together as a team despite how big Texas is. Okay, so I'm opening Slack. You can see the Slack bot has greeted us. And I'm only a member of the general channel. You can see where my mouse is here, and the channels are listed right there. So I'm going to hover my mouse over channels, and I'm going to click, and then I'm going to add texting to my list. So typing in texting, you're going to see it come up. I'm going to click, and it says join channel. So I'm going to click join channel. Okay, awesome. So you can see down here, Emily has now joined the texting channel, and someone is likely going to send us a note welcoming us. As you can see, there's lots of questions going on, being asked and answered here. And if I have a question about how to record or respond in a conversation, I would simply type my question in here and send it into the channel. The volunteer manager on duty will typically respond in a matter of seconds or minutes. So while you should, always use Slack, if you have a question, if you're a little unsure of how to respond, or what a text you receive means, you should definitely start with the dashboard first, because we have a lot of those questions already answered for you. So we keep the dashboard conveniently pinned or set as a status up top here, so you can always find it during your shift. And you should really keep it open always during your shift, because you can see here it has things like, how do I record the result of this conversation? What if someone asks me a question about Beto's policy question or Beto's policy position? It's a really useful resource. We want you to feel supported in this. All right, so that was Slack and the dashboard. Now I'm going to show you how to use Relay, because Relay is the platform we use to actually send texts out. Like I said, Relay is an online platform that allows us to text thousands of people across the state. We assign texts every day between 1 to 2 p.m. Central Time. And if you're assigned texts, an email will be sent to you with a notification of your new assignment. Additionally, back on Slack in the texting channel, you'll see a channel post from the staff team manager that says texts are live. You will have until 8 p.m. Central Time to send your messages and respond to them. Now, as you'll see in a second, you get responses at a varied rate. So you need to be prepared to log back into Relay after your shift to respond to the messages you sent after your shift closed for the night. So that's going to make more sense in a few moments. All right, so here we are on my assignments page. Like I said, you'll be notified via email when you have a new shift. And as you can see, the status, I have new text to assign. And you can see I have other campaigns where there are replies waiting for me. This is going to tell me how many texts I have to send in this batch and when I need to send them by. So it's really kind of intuitive. So today I'm going to show you how to do a voter ID campaign. But like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, there are also events that you will be sending text invites for. So it's really crucial that you read the daily channel message that's posted in Slack when texts go live, because that will detail what kinds of events we're doing, what kind of campaigns we're texting about. So in Relay, you cannot start responding to messages until you have sent all of your messages. And you can see I have a teeny tiny batch, it's only 5 messages, but usually you will be assigned between 500 and 800 messages. And I know that sounds like a lot, but we usually only have a 10 to 15% response rate. So it's not actually too many messages. All right, so I'm going to click on the campaign that I have been assigned, and you can see, okay, I need to send all of my initial messages. And you can see here, responses from your recipients will show up after you are done sending all of your initial messages. So let's send out these messages, and then I'm going to help you assess how to respond to them. So I'm going to click send, I'm going to click send, click send, click send, click send. Awesome, we've cleared our inbox. So now we are going to wait for replies. And like I mentioned, replies come in at a varied rate. So you might get a bunch of messages right away. You might get messages periodically throughout the day. You may even have messages that come in tomorrow. Someone wasn't with their phone all day. That's okay. We just want to respond promptly, and we want to respond politely as messages come in. So I'm going to press refresh, see if anything new has populated. Oh, interesting. Okay, so it looks like we got a wrong number. What are we going to do? Well, we're not going to panic. We are going to scroll down, and we're going to do the first thing of 2 things that you should always do in a campaign. We are going to record, and we are going to respond. So you can see here on will they vote for Beto, wrong number takes precedence. The most important data point we have right now is that this is a wrong number. So I'm going to click wrong number. Okay, great. So now what do? I am going to go over to replies, and I am going to use the wrong number, no ID, because we know that this isn't Alexa, and we know it's a wrong number, but not Alexa might be a Beto supporter. So we're going to click on this recommended reply right here, and you can see if you click on the title of the reply, it'll pop down, and I can read the reply to make sure that this is the appropriate response for this conversation. Once I've decided that this is the right response, I'm going to click on the plus sign. It'll populate down here, and then I click send. So let's see what Alexa says. And just a note about recommended replies while we're waiting for our responses. All of these messages right here are campaign recommended replies. So they are specific to this campaign. But you're also going to notice these replies down here that have a little bit of a globe next to them. Those are global replies. Global replies are on every single campaign because these are questions that you're going to get asked quite a bit. So things like who is Beto? If they call, sometimes people will try to call back as you're texting with them. All of these different things are really useful, and these recommended replies are really your toolkit while you're texting. So you should go through as you start getting replies back and read through them so you have a sense of what you are working with. So now let's wait for Alexa to respond, see what's going to happen. And you'll notice up here at the top, there's a survey question for wrong number Beto supporter. So depending on what Alexa says, or rather not Alexa, we're going to mark this one appropriately. So I'm going to press refresh, see if any more messages have come in. And as we're waiting for our replies, I just want to do a quick note. What if someone had said something that really confused me here? What if they had responded in a way that didn't totally make sense? I'm not going to panic. I'm going to go to the texting channel and I'm going to ask, because this is really a dynamic experience. You're not just sitting there texting alone, kind of trying to figure it out independently. You've got a whole team there and a bunch of resources of people who want to, help you figure this out. So as you can see, I've got down here, okay, no replies waiting, the name of my assignment, and ultimately, like I said, these are going to come in at a varied rate. So don't be surprised if you're kind of waiting like I am right now. So a couple things that I'm going to tell you about as we wait for other replies to come in. You're going to see some buttons up top here. One of them is called opt-out. Opt-out is a message that we use, or rather a feature that we use very sparingly. So if this person had said, take me off of your list, we are required, and we never challenge it, to take someone off of our list if they ask to be taken off. So what you would do is you would click the opt-out button, and it does a little prompt. Are you sure you want to opt this person out? And we're going to say, yes, we do. And we're going to submit it, and we'll never contact them again. But what happens if they say, never text me again? Well, we don't want to text them then, even if it is confirming that they've been taken off the list. So in that case, we would uncheck this box for sending the opt-out message. Someone might say, you're charging me for these texts. I don't want to pay 30 cents for another message. Well, we want to be really respectful of people's requests. So in that case, we are going to opt out without the message. And this is final. We never opt people back in. So you should use this very sparingly. So in instances where people, like I said, ask to be taken off the list, or if they say something offensive, something that is inappropriate, something that is in any way violent, you should opt those people out. And if you're not sure what is appropriate or inappropriate, ask for guidance on the texting channel. That's what it's there for, to answer questions that don't fall within what we cover in the dashboard. You're also going to notice this button, Archive. Archive is an organizational tool. It's a way for you to kind of clear your queue on the side, your conversation queue, and you really should only use it once you've completed a conversation, once the conversation has been rounded out. As we're waiting, I'm going to tell you a little bit about these survey questions. These questions exist for when we have confirmed information. So if we don't know that this person is a Beto supporter or not a Beto supporter, we don't want to fill it out, because we would rather have no data versus bad data. Bad data we can't fix, but no data, we can reach back out to that person again. There's a lot of other ways that we can handle it. So I'm going to press refresh, see if any more messages are coming in. Okay, so we're doing well. We've engaged with everyone that we need to engage with for right now. Let's say you accidentally click a survey question. Let's say I had marked this person as a lean Beto, but that wasn't actually the case. You can change it. You can mark something else. You're not set in stone forever. So a couple other things I want to talk about while we're waiting. Wrong numbers are going to be really high. We are texting people based on a publicly available list of voters, and it's full of lots of mistakes and lots of errors. So, if someone says, how did you get my number? We have a recommended reply for that. And so you shouldn't be daunted by that. And you also shouldn't be daunted by someone who says, I would never vote for that guy. I'm going to vote for someone else. Like we talked about in the team guide, like we talk about in the dashboard, you should always be polite. And we never opt people out who say they're voting for the other candidate, because, effectively, they will be out of our universe once they've identified themselves as a supporter for someone else. And all of that is detailed in the team dashboard. Another note I want to highlight about the dashboard is that people are going to sometimes ask you questions about voting. We are not in a position to give people advice about voting, voter registration, or their status, so you should always use the resources here. That's a really, really important point. Okay, so I'm going to check again, see if any more responses have come in. Nothing right now. So for now, we've done everything we can do. Great work. We're waiting to see what this person says back. We may get a few more messages in. So I'm going to stick around after this video to make sure I respond to everyone. But, a couple things I just want to mention. You're going to get people who say, go Beto. You'll mark them as strong Beto, and you're going to follow up with a prompt over here for a Beto supporter. You get someone who says, I'm voting for the other guy. You'll mark it accordingly, and there's a reply for that. We say, have a great day. We'll mark that down. So you should always read through all the recommended replies. And, there are going to be instances where you need to maybe supplement these recommended replies a little bit, right? If someone says, I'm a Beto supporter and I'm really sick right now, but he's got my vote, you should say, I hope you feel better. We're not robots, we're people. And these are person-to-person conversations that really have an impact on people's relationship to the campaign, which is why we are always polite, even if someone disagrees with us, even if someone says something not so friendly. So I think that you are all set to go now. I've shown you a lot of things. I've given you a lot of information. The important thing to remember is you always have Slack as a place to ask questions. You always have the dashboard to turn to. And, this is a team. There's lots of other folks doing it with you. So with that, my last little note to you is that it's time for you to sign up for your first shift. So when you go back to the dashboard, you're going to see down here, sign up for a shift. You're going to click on it, and then you're going to pick a slot. And you're going to see there's a couple slots on each day. Don't worry which one you pick. It just gets you into the queue for the day. And you're going to pick it, fill out your information. And if you're a first-time texter, which I trust you are since you're listening to this video, make sure that you indicate that, because once you indicate that you have not texted with us before, that's going to get you in the queue to get a call from one of our amazing volunteer managers or staff members to get you totally oriented for your first day. So with that, thank you so much for texting with us. We're so glad you're on the team, and go Beto, onward to November. See you in the Slack channel.